This is Jeremy with JeramieLu Photography. Thank you so much again for having me as part of this amazing photo critique that you guys are allowing me to do on video because it is wedding season and I get to kind of do it on my own time at home. It's been rainy the last few days. I'm sure you guys are dealing with that as well. So a lot of reschedules, cancellations, babies upstairs sleeping, kids are at school. Perfect time for me to do this. If you guys don't know about me, I own a studio called Hatch in Reno. And I own JeramieLu Photography. I also have a YouTube channel. I mentor and train photographers all over the world. If you guys are part of the YouTube community, I highly recommend looking me up and subscribing. You guys can also comment, look up videos. I help a ton with the photography community from beginning to end, from photo to business. So we do all that stuff together. So I wanted to plug that in just so you have some sort of on where I'm coming from. I'm self-taught, self-educated. I never went to school for photography, but I did go to school for business, and I love what I do. I'm a commercial portrait and wedding photographer. I shoot people, I print a lot of photos, I make albums, and I spend a lot of the time in my life critiquing my own work, and I have a few tips and tricks on what I'm going to give you guys as I kind of go through this. So this process is pretty simple, guys. I'm going to go through each photo, and I know they're listed by names. I have a little sheet over here that I'm going to score. I will put the scores after. I hope I don't mess you guys up with this. I will put the scores after, and I'll actually have Todd give you guys the scores later or announce the scores when you guys are all together. I don't want to give you guys the scores over the tape or on the camera here because I want you guys to hear what I have to say rather than worry about that number. Although the number is good for your scoring part of it, it's not really what I want you guys to hear. I want everybody to get better. I don't know that I have not even looked at these once, so it's going to be the first time looking at them with me, and I'm very excited to do that. With that being said, I just got back from WPPI about 2 months ago. If you guys haven't been there, it's every March in Vegas for portrait wedding photographers. Actually, any type of photographer, you can do a competition. I'm entering my photos into this competition. Actually, today is the deadline. I waited till the last second. But if you guys have a chance to go there, I highly recommend going there. They have, you can actually watch national judges judge images that are sent in on what they're looking for and what they need. And although this validation is really for yourself, it's great to hear how people are viewing your work in the professional world. I want you guys to understand that everything that I say is based on my style, my like, my taste. So you're gonna hear something and you might be like, that's not what I was going for, bro. And I totally get it, because when people critique my work, I just take it with a smile and say, I totally see what you're saying. But that's kind of it. I say thank you and I kind of move on. I don't sit there and debate with them on why or how they're bad at what they do or anything like that. So take it with a grain of salt, learn from it. If it does click in something, maybe the next time you go to edit an image, it'll help you and it'll benefit you. So getting your images critiqued are huge. I have no idea who I'm talking to right now, but thank you guys for inviting me. With that being said, let's get this going. Let's get this going. I'm recording here too. I don't know what you're gonna listen. I don't know if you're gonna see my face or you're gonna record this. So we are starting, well, let me get this little book thingy out. We have color and monochrome. Cool. So I think by the time I pick up the first, I'm gonna figure out if it's color or monochrome. So this is monochrome. And this is red-shouldered black bird. Oh my God, I'm gonna kind of do this. I'm sorry if I mess up anything. I'm not going to mess it up. So this is a black bird, guys. This is a black bird. You guys are probably going to see this image, so I'm going to kind of look at it myself, maybe do a little turn here. I like this image. All right, here's the first thing I noticed about this image. The crop is off to me. Meaning that there's way more negative space right here than there is right here. It's not a huge deal, but I feel like this image is going for the centered image, right? Because if we look at the rules of 3, which I learned later on YouTube, this isn't hitting the rules of 3 anywhere. So looking at this image right here, I'm kind of concerned that this needs to be cropped a little bit more this way. Maybe you make it a square photo, or if there was more room on this side. This is a bird. This is not something that you can pose, so you're kind of getting what you're getting. But these lines are a little distracting on here. Since it's so monochrome, and since it's black and white, and since it's very contrasty, these lines are kind of taking away from the bird themselves, because when I stare at it, and one thing that you guys need to remember is whenever you look at a photo or an image, your eye theoretically goes to the brightest part of the image or whatever strikes you the most, right? So looking at this, the brightest part of the image are those white sticks that he's standing on. I don't know much about birds here. I don't even know if this is a dude. So that's what I'm seeing. The other thing that's distracting me is right here, this bottom part right here of more sticks coming out. It's not enough for me to understand what's happening. I mean, I can see that it sticks, but I would have just photoshopped that out. I would have just taken this out, and that way it would have just been like, he's like in the sky super high or something. This one's, we're just not seeing it. Overall, it's sharp. I love the detail in the feathers here. I love the highlights. I don't know if that's actually white or highlights themselves because it's monochrome, but who cares? I love the little details right here. And I love that there's actually a little catch light in the pupil of this little bird's eye. So yeah, cool shot. Just a few nitpicky things on my end. Cool. Hold on, let me check this. I gotta check this. You guys can watch me check this. Don't look at my crotch. Boom, boom, testing, okay, cool. I'm testing a new mic as well, guys. It's a Rode Video, or it's a Rode Wireless Go. It's a tiny little mic into my lapel, and it just goes on there. It's a wireless. It's freaking, all right, let's go. Moving on. What is this? This is African penguin. It's a penguin. This is cool. So it looks like it's printed on like metal paper, which I kind of like. And I think that's the first thing I noticed. It was like it was sharp. Like everything was very sharp. So I don't know anything about penguins, but this is cool monochrome. So again, kind of with the last image, we're cropping it off a little weird, right? So what I do love about this, and I don't know how this was done. I don't know if this was done at night with the flash or bright highlights and then nothing in the back. I love that it's just black in the back. It's just like he's posing in front of a black backdrop. And I actually kind of like that because it makes the penguin stand out more. But we're getting, oh, you know what? That's the rock. That's the rock. So looking at this, I thought this was part of the penguin too, just kind of being outcropped, but it's not. So the penguin kind of goes to here. Okay, cool. So what I would imagine would be a benefit or a help to this would be kind of burning the edges a little bit. Even though this is dark, you can actually kind of come and burn in right here. And what burning is means darkening. You can do it in a Lightroom with a low brush. You can kind of burn the edges here. And what it does is it's gonna bring my subject up a little bit. Because as of right now, we're looking at this part and then we're bringing it down. It's great, but I'm just too focused down here and I wanna be focused up here. Overall though, sharp, cool detail. I don't know. It looks like the edit was, and there's more to this edit, right? This is like a little, was there like a filter put on it? Like a Gaussian blur of some sorts? Because it looks a little like a painting, a little drawing. So artistically, I think this is beautiful. This is a great shot. Yeah, I like the feet here. Yeah, the only thing is just this rock that it's standing on. And I mean, of course, it has to stand on something, but I want the focus to kind of come up a little bit. This is chill. I don't know if African penguins live in Africa, so they don't need to be like on snow. I guess I Google that. Cool. I will give you points, I promise. Oh snap. Oh snap, baby pelicans. Nope, I don't know what this is. 5 foraging snowies. 5 foraging snowies. I can't open this thing, ain't gonna open it. Looks like nobody's ever opened this before. Oh, okay. I love shots like this. It reminds me of, oh God, Ann Geddes. Is that her name? No. Frickin' the lady that shoots babies. Oh my God, I should know this. But she always lines up like babies together, like photoshops a bunch of babies together and like tutus and stuff. It's super cute. This is a good image. I mean, there's nothing, this is just a good image. You could actually probably print like 50,000 of these or sell it to iStock or put them somewhere and millions of people would buy this. Older women, grandparents, they would buy this, they would frame it, they would put it in their bathrooms. This is actually a really good image. It's a classic image. It's just 5, I mean, are these, I don't know what birds these are. These are 5 birds and they are, they're walking in water. I mean, there's not much to it. You cropped this very beautifully. You cropped it so that I don't see anything other than water. You cropped it so that the white pops out with the contrast. I see the movement of water, which is a higher shutter speed, which I kind of like. It would have been cool, but very difficult to do if you would have done a lower shutter speed and blurred out the water, but then you would have blurred out the pelicans too, or the birds, or whatever the frick they're called. I love this. The other thought that I would have had is kind of a lower angle, but maybe the lower angle wouldn't have shown the back. This is just a really good picture. It's printed on metal paper as well. I love it, but how cool would it have been though if you got the reflection, right? If they were still for a while. Again, it's animals, it's birds. Are these all animals? And yeah, I love it. I love the detail. It's sharp, it's neat. They're all looking somewhere different. It's kind of like a groomsman photo. But this is really cool. I like this. 5 Forging Snowies. Good crop, good choice in printing layout. You know what? I actually would like to see the full 2x3 of this, the full shot unedited to see how you did it, because that's kind of cool to look at. Boop, 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 booty, boop, boop. Oh my God. Sorry, guys. I don't know how much time you have. This one is Pillars at Delphi. I will tell you, whoever wraps this stuff up for packaging is a freaking, like, must work at the post office. I'm gonna start pulling here. It was just open, like it was. My bad. What happened was I have a savings account and a checking account. All right, cool. So, okay, so this is Pillars at Delphi. I like this. It's printed on metal paper. I actually don't think metal paper was the best route to go in this. I think metal's really good on metallic objects, water objects, anything that gives that realism. When we're shooting things like wood, stone, brick, metal doesn't really translate well because in the natural world, it doesn't look like that, right? So I've played with a lot of metal prints, and water I think is great. Like with the Pelicans, that was really good. This one, I think a flatter, luster, or even a matte print finish would have been better chosen for it. What I do love about this is that it shows off the pillars is what we're looking for. You were able to get the separation of the pillars from the rock in the back. Now, I don't know how much editing was done or how much editing is allowed or if that's even allowed, but what I would have liked to see is the background actually darkened a little bit behind the pillars, because then the pillars would have stood out more. As I'm looking at this image now, it's just kind of a straight shot. And what that means is anybody can walk up how they stand and they can take a picture just as it is, which means that there's no really that creative eye flow that I would get. For instance, if there was if there was a model and 5 photographers standing around, our hope is that each photographer would get something unique, different, and creative. They wouldn't get the same thing. Looking at this image, I don't see that, sadly. I could do this. I see my daughter can do this. I see Grandma June, who's over here with you, could do this. I would have liked to see a different depth perception. I would have maybe seen you come from below and shoot up on to show the grand gesture of it. Maybe a wider lens to show the grand gesture of it. Because a lot of this stuff down here is in shadow, so it kind of just gets thrown away anyways. But a little maybe burning, a little vignetting on the edge to kind of pull to the center would have been good. But the detail in this is actually pretty good down at the bottom here. So I think you're shooting at a higher f-stop. I like it. It just, you know, and we kind of get stuck in that rut. So this feels like a trip. You were on a trip. You were taking pictures of a bunch of stuff. And this was one of the stuff that was there. So maybe you were tired, or the creative mind kind of was just there, or you're just documenting as you're walking. Maybe you're in a line of people. I don't know what's happening. But every time you take a photo, remember that you're taking it the way that you take it, not the way that somebody else can take it. We're photographers because we have the creative eye. And if we're taking a picture that anybody else can take, well, what's the point, right? What's the point? So great job. Think about that next time. I will score this as well. Hip hop hooray. Hip 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 hip. Is this even what is this? This is cool. This is Stairway Under an Arch, ASMR. Welcome to my ASMR photography channel. I do not do ASMR at all because it's weird. All right, this guys is, Okay, stairway under an arch. So it's a picture of, I want to say like an old stairway. I don't know where this is. It reminds me of like Italy, reminds me of like Argentina. Although I've never been there, that's what the vibe it gives me. It's kind of breaking here a little bit. It's a side angle of an arch. It almost looks like an illustration at this point, but I doubt it. I don't think it's an illustration because it's a photography competition. So this is really cool. What I like about it is it makes me answer questions or ask questions. It intrigues me a little bit. It's printed on kind of, is it metal paper too, or just a luster paper? Maybe that was just luster paper down there. I don't know, it feels metallic-y to me. I print on matte paper a lot, so I don't do luster or I don't do metallic paper ever anymore. So when I see it, it's overkill for me. It's like so much sheen, you know? I love this. All right, so this right here, this little peek through that I can see right here, I don't like that. I want to know what's happening. I keep looking at this going like, what is in there? So I wish if you would have turned a little bit more, maybe to show more of the stairs and block this off completely, that would have been cool. And what I do like about it is the monochrome colors. I like that this is white, beige, like light gray. This literally is like 50 shades of gray in here. And I do like that because it's showing off a lot. Again, I would have liked to see maybe the perspective of not standing straight up, maybe getting really low on the ground and shooting up. It's just about our perspective of seeing something different. So cool, I like that. And guys, just because I go through an image quick or not quick, doesn't mean it's good or bad or anything. It's just, that's what I see, right? So I look at an image and registers in my head. I mean, I don't want to take 3 minutes per photo. That's just overkill. I mean, you can't really, you know, do that. Sorry. Is this taped on the inside? Oh. Oh, monochrome. Oh, mono. This is sick, bro. All right, cool. I like stuff like this. Early morning in the forest. What forest is this? So there's a deer in the middle of a forest. This isn't a normal photograph, guys. This has some sort of overlay. This has some sort of photo stacking going on. I need to know, is there photo stacking happening in this image? Is there photo stacking happening in this image? And what I mean by that is that when I'm looking at the deer's in complete focus, but other aspects are in focus as well, which doesn't make sense, right? For instance, if I'm in focus, as you guys are looking at me right now, the background and the foreground should be blurry. I shouldn't be in focus, and then the couch only shouldn't be in focus. So as we're looking at this image right here, guys, it's printed on luster paper. I would love to see this in matte because what's gonna happen is it's gonna pull in that contrast more. This tree right here is in focus and it's obviously in front of the deer. The deer's in focus and this tree by itself is in focus, which is in front of the deer as well. These are all in focus, this is not. This is a cool image, this took a long time. I hope that I'm right about all of that. I like this. This is something that you would put up, like people would put up on their walls. This is something that you can like art gallery if it was part of a series. Imagine doing this image with like different animals, people, a kid walking through wearing just a yellow rain jacket, Red Riding Hood, balloon, stuff like that that kind of creates the mind. Is this Charles Fine Art? Charles Keene, digital art. I like this. I think this could be gallery status. This is really cool. I like this image. It just makes me think, and when I'm looking at it, I can turn off my brain a little bit and be like, it's a beautiful image, and that's what I want to see. Great depth right here, great play. I mean, it says digital image, but did this even happen in real life, bro? Did this happen in real life? I want it to happen in real life, but if it didn't, I'm gonna be upset. Charles, don't mess with my mind, bro. I'm assuming Charles is a guy. Ooh, we got some board here, huh? Is this moon rocks? No, I don't think so. This is cool. Ancient eyes, ancient eyes. All right. First off, this looks like something from the freaking Avengers right here, guys. See all this like misty stuff? It looks like something's kind of coming up, and I love that. And that's really what you can do with monochrome, right? With black and white images, you're able to pull in different eyesights or light sights that we can't really see normally. And I love this. So this was shot midday. The light is hitting everything. Sometimes when I'm driving like down the road or driving to Galena or driving to Genoa for a shoot or something, I'll just look at the mountains and I'm just like, oh my God, the way the sun's hitting, that's beautiful. How can I reenact this in like a shoot or with people or like a mini scale or something? And you can't really, because the sun is a huge modifier. These mountains are giant. And I think this photographer did a great job just kind of documenting that. Documenting the highlights, the shadows, the low lights, showing us the clouds. I guess that's what it has to be. The clouds kind of coming in and peeking through. This looks really cool. And you know, I don't know if anybody sees this. Like when you look at clouds, you see like animals, you see whatever. I'm seeing like a freaking dinosaur right here, like a giant head. So I keep looking at like, this is the eye. This is really cool. I like this. I promise I will give you a grade. By promise, I mean I'll give you a grade. Okay, this is a, God, I don't know what this bird is. I want to say pelican, right? Please tell me what it is. It's an American white pelican in Carson Valley. That's exactly what it is. Okay, cool. So guys, this shot right here, it's a simple shot. It's a pelican on grass, and that's really, that's what it is. Do pelicans have a thing on their nose? There's a thing up here, and I actually don't know that. So my eye keeps going to there. As I look at this, the image is actually back focused, meaning that you might have done it on purpose. Your camera might have been on autofocus. This part is focused right here. Whenever I shoot any living object, my goal is to get their eye in focus unless I intentionally don't want that. Maybe they're looking away, maybe they're looking down, maybe their eyes are closed or something like that. But with this one, obviously the whole thing is shot, so I want the eye in focus. I want that, like it's looking at me. I don't really want the breast of this to be, or the wing of this to be the focus. So I think there was missed focus on this, and what I think is happening is your camera was on auto focus and it was on auto select, which means that you didn't have the dot. Your camera kind of just focuses on whatever's the brightest at the time, and that makes sense because this is the brightest right here. But next time I highly recommend getting that little dot to move up and wherever it needs to go. Get it on the eye, take your time, take a few snaps, move around a little bit, take some more. And then the other thing I would have liked on this is I would have liked a grand shot. And what grand means is like when you shoot Tom Cruise, how he's like 5'2" or 4'11" or whatever, people shoot up on him to make him look bigger. I would have loved this shot to be lower and higher, to shoot up on it. So it would look a little bit bigger, a little bit more like not scary, but a little more like masculine or whatever. I like this. This image, yeah, this image just needs a little bit more focus, a little bit more attention, a little bit more timing. Again, I know with animals, we don't get a say in what they do or why they do. We don't get to pose them, but moving around a little bit might have been a little bit better for this. So great attempt. The cool thing is you can go back to Carson Valley and do it again and then get something a little bit different. Again, also that different perspective because somebody else could get this shot, right? I mean, really, I want you guys to always think about that. Like if you take a picture, are you taking it uniquely enough for you? Can other people do this shot? That's what you have to think about. Let me reset this camera real quick. Ooh, I'm back. You can look at my crotch, that's cool. I'm okay with it. Eee! My nose just started running, guys. That's weird. Oh, all right. All right, this is fun. This is fun, but it's daunting to look at through this and then make your mind kind of work. So when I first started photography, I literally would go through like Flickr. I would go through a local photographer's work and I would just look at their images and kind of stare at it and be like, oh my God, I love how they did this. This is cool. Oh my God, I hate this. Why did they do this? And I would kind of just build my perception of what good art was to me. But I'm still the same guy that'll walk into an art museum and look at something and be like, that is shit. Like, what am I looking at? They literally, you know, there's a freaking a portrait that sold. Is it a portrait? There's an art piece that sold for like $10 million a few years ago. They put paint under a turtle, and the turtle walked around a piece of canvas. That sold for $10 million. That's art. Upsetting, guys. But yeah, art's, you know, your perspective. So you take what you want. All right, it's actually amazing. This one is really cool. Alaska Museum of the North. I love shooting museums because they have really good buildings, right? They have really good museum buildings. So the cool thing about this is the photographer was able to see these leading lines, create a monochrome image of it, and then kind of display it to us. And all that means is that you get to see what we don't get to see. You get to see something a little bit more beautiful in your eye, and then you have to portray it into a photo. Sorry if there's a glare on there, guys. It's this luster paper that y'all are using. Glaring out I have a door open here and this to get some light into here. I don't film here. I film my YouTube channels in my studio or out and about. I'm a big vlogger, but I just wanted some easy light here, and then corner of the couch. We have some baby stuff going on over there. Okay, this feels like a metal print, a metal finish, or like a silvery finish, so not full black. So I guess it's monochrome, which isn't black and white, but okay, so look, I mean, I get that this is kind of lifestyle-y, and we're documenting image. The cool thing with being a photographer is that we can create a little bit of fantasy with everything. So if I'm looking at this clearly, I love this grand scale. I love the idea of this building being here. I don't necessarily think that we need the people or the cars there at this point. Easy ways to do this is to clone out the people and then burn the edges right here. So you burn the edges right here. I can tell that. It's a little darker right here. Why not just go through and take out the cars or burn the edges of the cars or do this? And what's gonna happen is that's gonna bring me to the center. It's gonna bring my eye to the center. And I don't need to look around, but as I'm looking here, the only reason I say the people is this dude's wearing a white shirt. If he was wearing a black shirt, he would kind of blend in with these trees. But he's wearing a white shirt and he's walking and he's old and he has bad posture and he's holding a bag. And now I'm focusing on that dude instead of looking at your beautiful image. So I would have loved for that to have been cropped out or worked out a little bit. And then as I'm looking at the edge here, I actually would have liked it a little bit wider because I'm seeing this is a straight line. When you first look at it, it looks like the image just kind of ends, the building ends. This is a straight line. That's actually really cool because that's not normal. But overall, I do like this image. I think that the leading lines are great. The way the sun's hitting it. I don't even know where the sun's hitting it at this point. Maybe straight on? Maybe straight on because there's so many leading lines. And I love what you did with the edit to make all of the tile. I'm sure they're giant, but like the tile looked like tile. And I can see like the grout lines in between. So that was really good. This one's Alaska. I'm remembering to grade y'all. Cool. So guys, one trick that I do, and it will not pertain to this image, I just keep thinking about it and I feel like I should tell you guys. And I said this last year as well, so if you were part of this last year, if you weren't, then hip hip hooray. Melting icicle fingers. Oh, it sounds delicious. Oh shoot, which way? Okay. Is whenever you're looking at an image, once you're done editing, say you're in Lightroom or Photoshop and you're done editing and you're sitting there looking at your image and you're like, I think it's good. Give me like 2 seconds and then flip the image like upside down, 180 degrees. And you can easily hit a button to do that. And what's gonna happen is when you flip your image 180 degrees, you may or may not see things that you will not see normal when it's normally straight up. And what I mean is when you're editing, say a person, so you're editing me right here, and I'm in the middle of the frame, you're editing everything, and you're just focused on my face, making sure my skin's good, making sure the light's good on my face. You're not looking at the edges here. If you were to flip this around, then you would notice that, oh my God, this is super bright. There's a weird pillow happening over here. I didn't see that because I'm not focused on, you don't look at people upside down normally, so I'm not focused on them. So any image that you do when it's like this, just flip it around when you're done, and what's gonna happen is just look at it for like 10 seconds, and then you're gonna notice things that are gonna pop out. And what's gonna happen is that somebody who's never seen that photo before at the right way, that will pop out to them as well. And you're gonna be like, do I really want them to see that? Or do I need to edit that, take it out, burn it, dodge it, whatever. All right. I mean, this is what it is, right? These are icicles. I love icicles because there's a texture like a snowflake. There's never 2 icicles. They don't last forever. This is really chill. This is cool. I do see a little bit of nitpicky here. I'm gonna get nitpicky. Your sensor has some stuff on it. Here, here, here. Just a dirty sensor. I don't know what f-stop this was shot at, but this looks very, very faint that it has to be like a little piece of hair or something on your sensor. Just get it cleaned. And then you can easily clone that out, but it's easier to get it cleaned. Action camera in Reno cleans sensors. Ooh, this looks cool right here. It looks like it's almost breaking off. Our focus is here. I mean, this is pretty simple. This is pretty simple. I mean, it looks like running water. It looks like frozen water at the same time. It looks like I can see through the striations of the crystals. Yeah, I do like the burning. I do like the edging, the dodging. I don't know if that's natural on the camera or not. The other thing that I would recommend just to give you something to do, because I'm kind of done with this one, is like burn the darks and dodge the brights. And what's going to happen is our eyes will focus on what we need to focus more. I do this a lot with like eyes, shadows of the face where makeup would be put on. And it just makes an image pop a little bit more. So try that. So wherever it's dark, just get your burn tool at like minus 50% and then just kind of color it in. Hopefully you have a Wacom and you can like color. And then do the same thing with the highlights and color. And you're gonna notice a pop, and then you can adjust that whole thing. You don't have to go all the way to 50%, but you can adjust it as it goes. Cool, guys, just a few more here for the monochrome. Oh, Nevada, right? Isn't this Nevada? Casino memorabilia. Cool, so a stage shot. What is that? Is that a rock with chips in it? Like, did they... So I'm born and raised here, guys. Born and raised in Sparks, Reno, born at Washoe Med. And so I love seeing this stuff just because it's Nevada. I feel like the Nevada now doesn't really represent this. You know, we're all about growth and build and community. And I like that's mine. If you don't agree with that, then stick around for 5 more years and you'll totally see that I'm right. Although we get a lot of our stuff from gambling, prostitution, and all that stuff, I feel like it's changing. But these type of images is kind of what we need, is what I'm saying. Because a lot of us are changing so much that we're forgetting what the best part of Nevada is, that old cowboy town. I'm not a cowboy, I'm very Asian, but I understand the cowboy town. And this looks cool. So it looks like a mini slot machine, a bunch of dices. Let's go with dices. And then cards. Now, here's my nitpicky. The cards are off. It's a royal flush here, but the 10 is blocking the jack, bro. The 10 is blocking the jack. If it would just open a little bit more. It's just nitpicky prop stuff. So I shoot a lot of product photography and stuff like that I look at, and I'm like, oh, reshoot it. That's off. And that might be something a flip upside down would do. Yep, flip upside down, and I can definitely see that I'm staring right at the 10, and I don't see a jack. And that's just nitpicky. What I do like is that you shot this on some sort of fabric, and then you did a, oh, it's off here. And then you did kind of like I don't know, what is that? Like a white vignette Gaussian blur on the outside. Is that natural, actually? Whatever it is, it looks really cool. So I like this. I like the clarity. I like the sharpness of everything. I like that Nevada is being pumped out right there. This looks great. I don't know what the coins are on. I don't know if that was like coins dropped into cement at one time and then they're just living there now. But yeah, it's really cool. Me gusta. Me gusta. That's I like in Spanish. All right. Okay, Shell gasoline. Shell station in Bodie. I really want to go to Bodie. I'm happy that this is in here. Is it Bodie or Bodie? Bodie. I went to Yosemite for a wedding and I wanted to stop in here. We didn't have enough time. But I really want to go there and just kind of like stay the night and get freaked out and not die. Are we still recording? You good? Eagle? Okay, but looking at this, it looks like it was shot on a very low megapixel camera, blown up farther than it needs to be blown up. And what I mean is it almost looks cartoonish. it looks like a tattoo that's been put on somebody that it went too hard and the pigment got too big. Does that make sense? Yeah, Jeremy, it makes sense. Cool. So I love the detail in the clouds. I love that it's telling a story. I don't know if this thing's always there. Do they just leave that there all the time? But like looking into it, I can't really see what's going on. And on the edge right here, was this photoshopped in? There's a little line right here that separates the two. It's darker on this side and brighter on this side. I don't know what that is. And like this looks like it could be like an animal, but we can't tell. It's printed too big for the camera sensor that was shot with this, as simple as that. And what happens is we lose detail, right? We lose detail. We can't really see what we need to see. I can, tell that it says Shell gasoline. I can say that says 1927. I don't know what it says below. Dodgerama. Do not something. It's a good image, but I can't see it. So if we put this in the world of fantasy or art or anything like that, then that might be a little bit better. If you are shooting with a low megapixel camera, I highly recommend just getting a newer camera. You don't have to spend a ton, but every year cameras get better. In fact, the camera that I'm shooting on right now is the EOS 50. I do that strictly for my vlogs and video on YouTube. That would produce amazing images as well. I shoot with Sony normally. Sony A7 IIIs is what I shoot with. So yeah. And it's just about creating, it's not about really the tools, but it's about creating the best that we can with the tools that we have. And sometimes we need to exceed that, especially if you are shooting this and entering in competitions. I highly recommend just getting a newer one. But on the fantasy side, if we were to say that you did the shot, let's say you did this shoot and it was a high megapixel camera, but then you did a filter, an edit or something to make it look old timey, then you did it. Then it looks old timey. And I think that's kind of nostalgia of it. It looks like something that would be up in Virginia City on some tin. Yeah, looks cool. Camera's gonna die here. Let me change out my, that battery. Hold on, I'll be right back. Okay, microphone's still good. Cool. It's peaking, I don't know why it's peaking. Okay, I am back. Let's adjust everything here. All right, cool kids. I only have, it looks like 2 more monochromes and we go into color. I feel true photographers, if you're a true photographer, you love monochrome. I love black and white because I can show people where the light's supposed to be, what it's supposed to look like, and we can take away from all the colors. Dude, is this the same photographer? Yeah, it is. Misty morning on a hill. Charles, I also see how you name things. I don't know if I'm supposed to say the name of the people of this, so I'm sorry. This is not Charles. Dude, I think this is all digital, right? Like, I don't know. Oh, so, okay, cool. So let's look at this. Super grainy, super beautiful. He's letting, the good thing about this image, and I want everybody to take a peek at it if you get to see it, is he's making our eyes, the photographer is making our eyes go where the photographer wants to make our eyes go. And that's a very tricky thing to do. We use that with light, the brightest part of it, the contrast, we burn the edges, we bring everything usually to the center. And that's where our eye goes. Negative space is very hard to do, but if you do it well, it looks beautiful, right? So right now we're looking at this deer again, this homie. He's eating right here and I'm staring at him. And the reason I'm staring at him is because he is completely in focus and sharp. Everything else has a slight blur to it. Even the tree right here, there's parts that are in sharp or sharper, but theoretically this tree's blurry, this is blurry. There's like a kind of a natural noise or grain happening everywhere except on El Deero, which is a deer in Spanish. Good shot. Now, again, was this in real life or was this all digital art, huh? Was this all digital art? I don't know. This is really good. Again, part of your series, it could be, if it was part of the series though, I would have liked it to be gloomier. I would have liked maybe some light clouds here or vignette this a little bit, just maybe like a darker shade of gray, something like that. But if it's not, that's just me. I'm all about making money. Make that money, bruh. You sell that stuff, make that money. I don't know why I'm talking like that. A break in the weather, which I, was hoping today. I was supposed to have some headshots outside. downtown Reno and it's raining and it's not a thing. This is cool. So snowy and shooting through clouds, which I always love clouds. Like I love the way clouds kind of look. This photographer has a thing with clouds from like their last image that we saw. So you can kind of see some multiple images that are kind of the same, right? What I wish on this image though, is that this rock wasn't there. I almost feel like it would have been better without this rock right here, because what I'm looking at here is I'm looking at snowy mountains, I'm looking at trees, I'm looking at massive, massive mountains. And in my mind, it's like more massive than it is. But then I kind of look at this rock, and this rock then puts it into perspective of for where the photographer's standing. And then all of a sudden I'm like, okay, well, I mean, it's grand, but it's not that grand, right? If we would have moved up further or cropped it in a little bit more to get rid of this rock, then that would have been awesome. And also look at the rock. It doesn't really match the rest of the image, especially in monochrome. This is all whites and blacks and grays, and this is kind of more like gray, like moon rock. So I'd love to hear the representation of this rock or why it's there. What does a rock mean to you? You don't have to tell me that because I don't care about that stuff. But I do love this image. I think like from here up, this would be a totally different image than here down, if that makes sense. But cool clouds, killing it. Good job, clouds, you're working them. And then the focus is obviously El Mountain, this giant thing right here. It's just so cool, like how big stuff is, you know? Okay, guys, so that is the monochrome. We're gonna go straight into the color here until my baby starts crying. And then I gotta go to Best Buy. And then I got things to do, you know? I got things to do, I gotta make things happen. So I'm very excited. So I will be putting our scores on there. Again, take what I say more than the scores, please. You know, the scores really mean nothing in the end. It's if you can learn something and progress from it, then that's cool. But I understand why they're scoring and why they do all that. I think last year I didn't even score at all. I totally forgot because I'm a bad person. But if you guys have any questions or comments and you need to get to me, Todd has my info. Feel free to reach out or find me on social. All right, so we're gonna go backwards on the color, I think. I don't know if it's backwards or not. Okay, you know what, let's go forward because I think they're in the same order. I think you guys all did, was it 2 black and 2 color? I don't know. Oh, is this our first person? Do you guys not do portraits? I asked because I shoot people. I love people. I love landscapes, but I feel like you just get what you get, and I feel like it's a cop-out, you know? Like Ansel Adams is amazing. Just kidding. I was making that joke. I'm like, he's good, but like, what did he do? Earth was there, and he just took a picture. But I read a lot about Ansel Adams, and apparently he would sit out in like swamps or jungles for like 4 days straight. And I mean, we have digital where we can take it and look at it, but he literally would just sit there with film and long speech, like long shutters, 4 or 5 minutes, wait, hang out, and do it again for like 4 days straight, go home and hopefully get one. And that is cool. I don't know if any photographer here is ever doing that. I don't do that at all. I take a picture, I drive up to a mountain, I take a picture, and I leave. And I'm like, I'll do it next time. Okay, this is called Bowed Interior with Ghost. So I did this really cool ghost shot while I was shooting behind the scenes for a show, a movie trailer. Well, it was a movie, but it never made it, so I made the trailer. And I got in a lot of trouble for it because it was a haunted location, and I made it look so real and ghost-like that I posted on social media and people were freaking out. And I literally got in trouble by the whole San Diego, old San Diego, which, whatever, I don't care. You know, it's still up somewhere. The reason I say that is that I think this was the same attempt to do that. Now, what I love about this image that it looks old. It's an old location, it's an old place. The only thing that I'm gonna focus on now is the ghost part because that's what we're doing, right? So it's an edited image. We have our model here, and the model is translucent about 80%. In order to make like a real ghost image, or if we're gonna do a ghost image, what I would like to see is actually a long shutter, which I don't know if you did that, a long shutter and how to remove, but what I do is I do a long shutter. So I do like a minute and a half. Long shutter, I have somebody walk in, stand there for like 15, 20 seconds, move around a little bit, maybe just their arms, and then walk out. And what happens is whatever is the longest in the shutter will stay. So if the face is there for 30 seconds and the arms are moving, the arms will look blurry, but the face will look completely normal and straight. What's happening here is that I don't know if just she was translucent only, because I don't think this is a long exposure image, and I could be completely wrong, which I most likely am. And what's happening is that she doesn't look as translucent or ghostly or horrific as she should, right? Because I can see her entire body. I can see her entire body as you guys see my entire body. And in my mind, and this is my mind, ghosts aren't like that. Ghosts are floating. They're kind of flying around. Maybe they're like foot's trying to more translucent than their face, or one eye's translucent than the other eye, or something like that. So something a little unrealistic, or we don't know what ghosts look like. Have you seen a ghost? Huh? And what I would have liked is a little bit of motion blur in this. So maybe she walks into frame at a 1 minute, stops for 10 seconds, and then walks again nice and slow. And then basically it'll create like a little shoosh, stop, and then another shoosh in the image. So that's the ghost part. I see, because you wrote ghost, and I see the attempt, and I would have liked this to be a little more ghostly. This is super fun to try if you guys are listening to this. Well, you guys have to be listening to this. But I would really love for you guys to try some ghosting images. And if you have questions on that, I'm happy to do a little video. In fact, it'd be a good video on YouTube to do. Let me know if you guys are interested in that. I'm happy to do it. I don't even know if I'm talking to the YouTube community or you guys. But the detail in this is awesome, man. This is really cool. This is a cool location. Old dusty chairs everywhere. I'm assuming we staged this because it's a ghost. This chair right here needs to go. This chair needs to go. So I would have like removed this chair before shooting. And the reason is when I go upside down, it's super bright. You guys can actually see that. Right there, it's just staring at me, and it takes away from the woman. I spent a lot of time doing that one. Oh, you know what, let me put this right here. That way I can not mix those up. On the Grand Canal. Na, 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 na. Oh, I gotta do this and I gotta get the babies. It means we gotta take a time out. All right, so on the Grand Canal, again, I think this is the same photographer as last time. I'm trying not to look at the names at all. It's a freaking cool area. It's a cool area, but what's happening is it feels like an older camera printed too big again, right? So I'm losing detail, I'm losing what I'm seeing. It's not, and this image isn't focused. The aperture may be too high, maybe on auto, but what's happening is I'm looking at this entire image and I don't know where to look. I don't know. It's like a Where's Waldo thing. Immediately I kind of looked into here. It's a little blurry, but this is in focus right here. These wood planks, which I don't think the wood planks were your target audience for this. And then if you look on the edges here, it looks like everybody's squished. So I don't know if when we were printing this, we had to like crop it in or squish it in, but everything's changing a little bit. I mean, it's a beautiful area and I want to see more. It's shot at a very high shutter speed. I can tell because the boats are frozen and they're not blurring at all, but I just don't know what I'm looking at or where to look. I mean, looking at this image right here, guys. So this right here looks like a church or something, right? I don't know what it is. Big cathedral kind of looking thing. That would have been my focus. That looks beautiful. Here is just like dude getting onto a boat, dudes riding in a boat, people hiding behind these pillars in a boat. I would have loved the focus to turn around a little bit. So, say you snap this image really quick, take the time to crop the image. It doesn't have to be big unless you guys had size requirements. Maybe that's it. Take the time to crop where you need to crop, and that will get you what you need to get. I wonder if you can go back. Can you go back? Okay, we gotta take a little bit of a break here. I don't know if you're gonna notice it. They're gonna notice on here. I got the baby, so I'll come back in a bit and finish the rest. Hi guys, I am back. All right, cool. I am back. It's been a few hours. Let's get this thing back on here. All right, I think I just record again. Hopefully it keeps what I have. All right. Hopefully it keeps what I have. If not, we have the video for this. Okay, guys, we're gonna keep it going here. I'm just gonna keep going. We only have maybe like 5 or 6 or 10 or something. but we'll keep this going. This is called Walkway. I think it's like this. This is cool. This almost looks monochrome to me, right? Because it's like on the luster paper. Who cares about luster paper? It's on the luster paper, but it's also kind of like monotone color. This is cool. This is a hallway of some sort. Looks like white with white lights. It may be like a hotel or a conference area. What is this thing? I don't know what this thing is. It looks like just a panel of some sort. But this is cool. This is just kind of like leading lines. So I like the leading lines leading into wherever it needs to go. The other thing I'll bring back onto this is the perspective, right? It's shooting, it's being shot straight on. I would have liked it to be shot from down up, up down, from hiding behind a wall or something, just creating a different perspective. But this is pretty cut and dry. So this is a good shot. The only other thing is I would look in the back here. I don't know what this is. It looks like a couple railings for like blocking off areas, or like if you're at Disneyland, you know how it kind of makes the lines. I think that's what that is. I would remove that, even make that completely black. That'd be chill too. Just because I don't know what it is and I don't like that. Oh, we're back at it with some birds. All right, guys, this is called yellow-headed black bird. I mean, that's what it is. I wonder if this is from the same series as the black and white that we had earlier. Let me check this volume again real quick. Test, cool. Normally I would do this and then I would edit that stuff out, but I think I'm giving you guys just a straight raw video file here. This is cool. Like I kind of mentioned with the other bird anyways, I would have removed this stock right here to be gone. I love this in color. I think this is amazing. It's actually cropped pretty well. Again, I would have evened out the negative space on both sides. The bird just looks cool. I mean, it's actually kind of neat to see how close and up depth and what they look like in this fashion. There's a lot of lines in there. This looks really cool. The more I look at it, the more it looks like a drawing or a painting. But yeah, this is cool. I like this. Not too much. I mean, you got the color, you got the detail, it's sharp. It's focused on them, on the bird. I like that. Oh, this is kind of neat. All right, this is called Stately Turkey Vulture. That sounds delicious. So this is a vulture, but like a turkey vulture? Is this real? Holy crap. All right, so I like this. It's an image, leading lines kind of leading up to the vulture. The vulture isn't taking up the whole image. Most people would actually shoot just the vulture as a whole image, but you've actually created this kind of bottom layer of negative space, although the tree is there, and it's on top. I commend that. That's really smart. That's really good. This looks like some sort of edit or filter has been put on it. The focus is back focused on the eye, which is kind of a downfall, which is kind of sad, because the main focus point is here, because if I look at the eye, it looks a little bit blurry. But this is really cool. I mean, I like the detail, I like the edit. Yeah, this is awesome. I do love how the tree kind of just dies out right there. So it looks like it's on like a walking stick or something. In a nice flat white background. Or it might have been blue at the time, and editing turned it white. But I do like that. It just looks like a cool painting. I think the color's a lot easier to judge. I think, I don't know why. I think just being able to look at the color and see. This is Tanya Creek Cascade. On foam board. I'm a big fan of foam board, guys. This is how I hang my stuff up on my wall, just foam board. Long exposure shot with the rocks in the day. Had to use an ND filter with this, I'm sure. This is beautiful. There's something about flowing rocks or flowing water that I love in photographs. But it just it creates motion, it creates a stir, it creates a little bit of a story. You can kind of imagine how fast the water was going at the time. I do love this shot. I think it's great. I think it's great. Shadowing is good. I mean, it's natural light shadowing. Really, really sharp. Really, really intense depth of field. A lot of stuff is in focus, the water is blurred and it just goes down. This is great. I think this is awesome. I love the different colors of rocks, the detail. And that's the thing, when you're shooting with color, you want to show the color, right? I hate the presets that are happening now with like the browns, with people putting a button, everything's like brown and dark and dull. I think it's weird. I think it's a weird thing. This is called Dragonlight's Palindrome. Okay, this has to be digital art, right? I mean, this is digital art. I can't do this, so I'm not a good digital art person, guys. I'm a real to life. But dragons, I wonder if you shot this at like the Dragon Festival. But dragons, and the same dragons are put around. So this is where I kind of get into, is this photography or is this digital art or is this art? I'm not 100% sure what the rules for this were, but obviously it's in it, so it's fine. But like me as a photographer, I would take a picture but I wouldn't do this much stuff to it, because after a while it just doesn't become photography anymore to me. I do believe in shooting, I do believe in editing, I do believe in altering and making it pretty, but obviously this is a cut in half and then flipped on its side and creates that. So the talent in this is amazing, but is it photography? And that's something you guys can actually talk about. My thoughts are photography is what I shoot, manipulation a little bit, but nothing too crazy, nothing too big of manipulation. Is somebody here? That got weird. But let's talk about this. The colors are amazing. The detail is amazing. I just don't know if this was actually a photograph at one point. Because it does look real, but it does look like it could be drawn as well. It's awesome. It's afternoon time. I yawn during afternoon time. Oh man, it's been crazy. It's been like, I had to go to Best Buy. The boy was asleep. The boy was awake. The boy just went back to sleep. And yeah, that's what happened. Oh, look, they look like pelicans now. Because of that's what I was looking for the orange. So I guess stuff like that, like color to black and white, like they look way cooler to me with the orange, the color, because, you know, birds and mammals and animals are beautiful and I like to see that stuff. Here's what I'm struggling with this image, maybe because it's in color. This is called a trio of American pelicans. Side note, I just uploaded a bunch of images to WPPI from the contest while I was hanging out with the boy, and I had to come up with a title for everything. So my titles were like butter and monkeys or something like that. And that's what I was doing. So I wonder how you guys come up with this. This obviously is telling me what it is. Okay, so if you look at this image, guys, the white streaks or the white foam from the water, from the raging water, is fighting with the white of the pelicans. There are a couple things that we could have done with this. We could have made this a longer exposure shot, but the pelicans would have been moving, so that would have been difficult. We could have edited and burned the background just a little bit more, and maybe even dodged the pelicans a little bit to pull it out. And the only reason I'm saying this, guys, is I don't like confusing images. I like to look at an image and I like it to tell me what it's supposed to tell me, and then I'm done and I'm out and I'm gonna go home. This one, they're all about to fly, they're all doing whatever, but for some reason I keep staring at this part of the image. And this part, the bottom left, for those listening, of the image, bottom right as I look at it, is bright. It's too bright. And I don't like that because it's taking away from the pelicans. And also, the angle at this, I don't know if they're actually flying or not. But the exposure is good, the color is good. Technically, it's a good photograph. And my job is just to get in there and get nitty gritty with y'all. Oh man, there's only a few more. Oh, guys, well, thank you all for submitting. This is called Rust. Oh, this is cool. So this is, I used to do this a lot when I first started photography, and like I didn't have anybody to shoot. I would just walk around and shoot stuff. So I like this. So this is Rust. This is showing a screw inside of an old thing. And I like the colors, the purple gold tones. I don't know what this gross stuff is coming down. You know, there's images like this, there's not too much to say to it because we don't 100% know what we're looking at. What I will tell you though, it's a beautifully lit image, it's a beautifully edited image. I'm looking at the image as a whole. I don't know what to look at. If I'm supposed to look at this, if this is my centerpiece, this little screw thing, it's not hitting that. I'm more looking at like this stuff right here that's kind of falling down. So what I want you guys to do is as you're editing these images and going through it, make sure that I'm focused on what I'm supposed to be focused on. There's just a lot going on in here, but it's just a really, I don't know, it's just a cool image. It's just a cool image. But yeah, if that was my focus, I need you to, dodging and burning is my favorite thing to get my focus back into it. Oh, this thing's a beast, man. What is this? This is it's an owl, right? Oh, a juvenile bald eagle. Why did I think it was an owl? So this is a baby bald eagle. Looks like in front of some trees. So here's what I like about this edit. You went through, I don't know if you put a filter on the whole thing, but everything looks kind of like Japanese strokey. The tree in the background has definitely been altered and played with. So has the background, and I like that because what it is it made it more blurry, it made it darker, and my focus is now this bald eagle that's in front. Very cool pose. It looks like it's sleeping. I don't know, this is just a cool image. I like that it's on the right side of the frame. I do like that though. I think that's cool. You didn't cut it off. You didn't do anything weird. Oh my God, I think from the black and white, I should do color first next time because I'm starting to see things. But it looks a lot cooler in color with standing on this moss or this rock. Super sharp. Yeah, the talons are even blurred out a little bit. That looks cool. This is a really cool image. I like that. That's a cool image. Okay. Okay, boys. Okay, boys. Okay, the boys. I believe you, sha-la-la-la. Oh. So, this is home, right? This reminds me of home. Whites Creek Trail after the big snow. So, I mean, that's exactly what it is, right, guys? I mean, it's a snowy, clumpy snow. The clouds have cleared, and now we just have this beautiful snow. I like this. This is a straight, simple shot, guys. And there's clouds on the top during the day. So I imagine you're trekking, walking with your camera. You're taking pictures. What I like about this is the shadowing that's happening, and the highlights aren't overexposed. You can still see the mountains. So you're shooting on a really high f-stop depth of field. Again, I would have liked a different perspective than just standing straight up and shooting out, because that's our job. We need to be able to create amazing images from low angles, high angles, side angles. The toughest thing is shooting landscapes. I don't shoot landscapes. I mean, I feel like I can, I just don't. But the best landscapes that I've seen make a focal point. So again, I love this image, but I'm looking at the entire thing at once, and I don't really want to do that. I would rather have an epic tree or an epic rock or something be my focus, whether you're throwing a flash on it, a reflector on it, or you're editing around it. And that way I can focus on it as a whole. If I'm supposed to focus on the mountains, cool. And if I like close my eyes and go real quick into this, I'm focusing on this mound right here. And if that mound is something significant, then I hit it, then I got it. But I don't think it is. But yeah, man, look how cool snow is. Like, nobody touched it, nobody's walked in it. It's just pretty snow. Is this the last one? I thought I had a lot more. I thought I had a lot more. But this is probably like an hour and a half video now, huh? Okay, this is called Sandstone Mesa. And yeah, this thing is epic. So here's what I like about this, okay? If you look right here, this tree looks tiny and I'm sure it's huge, but we have this amazing shot. The edit that was done on this is kind of like a brown filtery, not really what I was saying earlier. It's kind of a little bit different, but it brings out a ton of the yellows and golds in this. And this is a cool fantasy image. I like this. I don't think the colors are exactly like that. Looks like some hills and some mountains from the water. Looks like almost like cookies down here, which is kind of cool, like rocks layered on top of each other. But this is an image. The only thing I would say about this is the same with that snow image. I want a focal point. I mean, I get it. I get that the giant mountain is a focal point, but this tree is really cool. So if we could have found a way to get something where we can focus on it and then get the vast size of it, that would be cool. It's not easy to do. That's why I'm not a landscape photographer, but light painting, stuff like that would definitely make it work. Oh my God. If you look at like right here, it looks like a dude's holding a girl. That's weird. You can find some cool scapes in here. Cool. Okay, guys, that is all of them. So thank you guys so much for your time. I appreciate you guys letting me do this. I'm going to put the scores, throw it in there. I'm going to get this Satati. He's going to pick it up. And I don't know if you guys are going to listen to it, talk to it, whatever. Hopefully you guys get to watch this video. I will actually toss this video on YouTube as I did last year as well. So if you guys want to look at it, you're more than welcome to. But yeah, if you guys have any questions or concerns, let me know. Like I said, everything that I critiqued was based off of my style, what I see. And hopefully you guys start to see the same things. I highly recommend every time you guys do a new image, you have somebody kind of look through it, especially if you're going to competition. Make sure that it's up to par. Don't get butthurt if somebody doesn't like the image. It happens. And if a lot of people don't like an image, then they're saying something about that image. But hopefully they give you constructive, critical critiquing. If you guys have a chance to critique others' works, then you can as well. I have a couple Facebook groups that focus on critiquing only. The number one is Critique It Up. If you go to Facebook, look Critique It Up, you can put an image on there and people will naturally critique it. Again, do not put your photos up there if you're ready to cry, because it's not the easiest. And then we have another joke group on Facebook that you guys can definitely go on to, called Roasting Photographers, where we roast each other. We post our own images and we get roasted. And I do it all the time and I love it because it brings that ego down a little bit. Anyways, thank you guys so much for hanging out with me. I'm out. Hope have a good day, and I will talk to you guys maybe next year or anytime sooner. Okay, bye.